In an industry stuffed with marketing bullshit, empty promises, and shiny-suited liars, one woman's had enough. She knows what it's like to have the wrong clients, no money, and no time for fun. But she also knows how to fix it. And on the Business for Superheroes show, she promises to tell the down and dirty truth about business, sales, and running away with the circus. Here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the Business for Superheroes show. I'm Vicky Fraser, and this is Joe Fraser, and he's my husband, and we all look very forced right now.
Hello.
Because this is the second time we've done this evening.
Oh, man, we got like 10 minutes in and I hadn't pressed record. That's dull.
It's quite dull. So now we're slightly drunker than usual.
Oh, right. Okay, let's rattle through this bit.
Yeah, because today's show is brought to you by a tiny bottle of Prosecco.
Tiny bottle of Prosecco. Very nice.
Yeah, which arrived in the post the other day. I went to the door, as you do when somebody knocks
knocks on the door with a parcel.
Yeah, I think this was better first time around, you know.
Yeah, maybe.
And our lovely postie was there, and he is a lovely postie. And he was like,
Hi, Postie.
I've got a parcel for you. Here you go. Oh, that was a really terrible Welsh accent.
What was that?
I don't know.
Sheesh.
Hello, how are you? I've got a parcel for you. I've just alienated Wales, haven't I?
Yeah, no more Welsh clients.
Anyway, I was like, oh, I don't know what this is, because it was a rare day that I hadn't ordered some shit from the internet.
A red day indeed.
Yeah. So I opened this package, and in it was a box of goodies from Hotel Chocolat, which is like my total favourite chocolate confectioner. This went so much better first time round.
Have another mouthful.
I will. You tell them what was in the box, Joe.
Oh, the box was full of like salted caramel puddles and a little bottle of Prosecco, which we are now drinking. Cheers.
Cheers.
And all sorts of delicious things.
Yeah, my favourite things, which makes me wonder if he'd done some research and found out what my favourite chocolates were, because they're all in there. He didn't get in touch with you, did he?
Nope.
And I should, by the way, say that this is not my like super secret admirer or anything. It's one of my lovely clients who I wrote a book for earlier this year, and he's so delighted that he's now a published author, and he's got his kind of book printed and published, and he sent me a copy the other day, and he's really chuffed, and he sent me a box of goodies to say thank you. Yay. Which is just really lovely.
Do we need to give him a shout out?
Hi, Steve.
Hi,
Steve Barnett of Hexagon IT.
Nice.
And his book, if you run a small business, if you're running, it's actually for lawyers, but all of the information in there is like, it's relevant to anybody who runs a small business, really. It's just aimed at lawyers. But if you run a legal practice, then have a look for his book, which is called
Cyber Compliance for Law Firms.
There you go, Cyber Compliance for Law Firms. And it's not bad at all. It's really good. I mean, you know, I'm a good writer, but all the content, all the idea, and the background and stuff came from Steve. I just put it together and printed it up.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah. So that was really cool. I've lost my thread now because of the whole not recording thing.
Back of your leg.
Yeah, bloody. Right, I've just been running, because I run, and I've just done 6 miles, which I was really chuffed with, in 54 minutes. Only it was a bit of a bloody catalogue of catastrophes, really, because about 20 minutes in, a fly flew into the back of my throat, and I had to stop and almost throw up into the hedge.
Nice.
Which was fairly horrific. And I was like doubly traumatised, because I really get upset about killing anything, and that's probably not a very nice way to die, in the back of somebody's throat with bile.
Being hacked up.
So, yeah, that was grim. And I've actually got a sore throat now because I did so much hacking, because I was so freaked out that it was kind of embedded in the back of my throat. And then about 15 minutes after that, something bit the back of my thigh.
It might have been the same thing.
No, it was a tiny thing that flew into the back of my throat.
Okay.
And I think that might be a horsefly bite or something, because it's really itchy. And I nearly fell over trying to scratch the back of my thigh and run at the same time.
Nice.
And then
big red blob.
Big red blob. It's pretty grim, and it's really, really itchy. Driving me nuts, it is. So, yeah.
What are we doing? What are we talking about?
Right, we were going to be talking about, I promised last week, well, I didn't promise, because I don't promise anymore, because we kind of ramble and
Just make it up as we go along.
But last week I said we might possibly be talking about how to charge higher prices without losing all your customers.
That was the plan.
Which we are Still going to do.
I prepared extensively for that one.
That's so not true. This is the first iteration of this epic fail of a podcast. Joe was like, I just turn up and sit down. Which is exactly what he does.
I opened the bottle.
Eventually.
Oh, come on.
So yeah, we will be talking about that next week unless something particularly exciting crops up.
Horseflies.
Horseflies, yeah. So this week, though, I wanted to talk about networking because I went networking last week.
Up until now, you've always thought that was like a dirty word.
Yeah, it's horrific. I always said I would rather stick pins in my eyes than go networking. And if anyone listened to the podcast where I had Todd on the show, you'll remember that was him trying to persuade me to go networking. And then what he did, the sneaky bastard, was he just booked me a ticket for the networking event last week because he was like, you're doing anything, blah, blah, blah. And I thought I was going to get invited to like a party or something.
And it was networking.
It was networking. So he booked me in. He was like, right, you booked into this. I was like, oh, right, okay. So,
Hi, Todd.
Hi, Todd. So I went along. By the way, that's a legitimate sales tactic. If you want to persuade somebody to do something, just act like they've already agreed to it because 9 times out of 10, they'll just go along with it.
I've got a story about that.
Have you?
It happened today.
Oh, go on then.
I got a phone call and it was on the office phone, which normally makes me suspicious because most of my people know my mobile number and call me on that. Or hit me up on Skype or something. So, random phone number, unrecognised. And there's a chap called Pete, and he just spoke to me like we were old buddies.
Really?
And he just... Blah, 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 blah. And I really was not sure what he was talking about. I didn't know where. And I was busy thinking, where's this guy from? Where is he? Who is he? And I'm hitting up LinkedIn and trying to work out who he is and where he comes from and what my relationship with him was at some point in the past. And he was just blathering through his patter. And... I thought I was agreeing to, him sending me a catalogue or something. And then 10 minutes after the call, I got an email saying, your 3 pots of hand wipes and your thing are on their way. And we'll invoice you shortly for, £170, something or other.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cheeky. See, I would never do that. That's a bit black hat because that's...
well rude.
Yeah,
So I
because...
sent them back quite a stern email saying, no, don't send me anything. Or if you want to send me something, I'm not paying for it.
Yeah.
I haven't ordered it. Don't do it.
No, that's actually really bad. Do not do that to your clients.
Proper rude.
What would have been better would be if he'd said, I'm sending you these free samples. Because then you've actually got somebody to agree to take free samples so you can test them out, which is a much better way of getting somebody to test stuff out. Because otherwise you're not the right person to talk to anyway about that kind of stuff. But if you were, and somebody had sent you free samples of stuff that, was actually good, then it'd be like, well, these guys have gone to the trouble of, sending me some stuff, which is more than our current supplier does. So, fuck it. Yeah, let's go with them. Mm. But to invoice you for something
that I didn't ask for.
That you didn't ask for.
I don't think
really
I agreed
bad.
to.
No, that's
cheeky.
Yeah, that's really bad. Anyway, back to networking. So yeah, this is I went along to the networking and I actually really enjoyed it.
It was all right.
I really enjoyed it, yeah. Because because all of my previous experiences of networking have just been horrendous. They've been like being accosted in a room with people kind of stabbing you with their business cards and, they're babbling at you boringly or they're waiting for you to, clearly waiting for you to stop speaking so that they can start talking, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They just make you feel really irrelevant.
Well, that's it. They're not interested in
making a
connection.
You at all.
They're just interested in getting rid of business cards or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird.
So
what's the point?
Well, yeah. So that's why I've always avoided networking. But this one was different. It's foreign, which was started by a chap called Brad Burton, who is motivational speaker and just was fed up of that kind of networking shit, really. So he started his own thing up.
Cool.
It's called For Networking, or Foreign for short. And Todd is the leader of the Leamington Group, which is the best in the country, officially at the top of the league table.
Hi, Todd.
Hi, Todd. And he took it from mid-table obscurity to the top of the league. Joe's looking a bit rolly-eyed and bored now because we've already done this. We just didn't record it.
Second time through.
Yeah, we slagged off BNI quite a lot more last time, so maybe it's for the best, actually.
We did, yeah. Mm. Maybe they're great too somewhere else.
Yeah, if you disagree with me and you think that BNI are wonderful, then you feel free to, berate me and I will ignore you.
They might be great somewhere. Might suit some people.
Maybe. Yeah, the reason I don't like BNI's format is because you're only allowed one like species of each business in the group, I think, or one or two. So if there's like another copywriter there, then I wouldn't be allowed to do my copywriting thing because, there's only 3 clients in the world. And I haven't really got anything else to say other than that. Oh, and also you have to make a certain amount of referrals every month with BNI. So
doesn't that just lead to really shit referrals?
Yes.
If everybody's got to dredge up 3 people whose name they can stick in a hat.
Yes, it does. And what if everybody else in your BNI group is a complete shitweasel and you don't want to refer people to them? Then you get kicked out of the group, which is pretty much a blessing, really.
Weird.
Yeah, weird. Anyway, but I had been obviously very resistant to networking, as everybody who knows me knows.
Knows.
So I went along and it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah. And the format is really cool. So you're not just kind of drifting around the room feeling awkward.
Like that awkward cocktail party.
Yeah, but that's it. That's why I hate networking, because it's like the awkward cocktail party with people that not only do you not know, but who you actively don't want to talk to.
But you have to.
But you have to, yeah. So I bet people who love networking are making voodoo dolls of me right now. Anyway, so the way that 4N works is a really good format. So you go and you have a sit-down meal. And they bring you actually really good food. The vegetarian lasagna was ace. And you sit down in your group, and there was quite a lot of people at the Leamington one, and that's much busier than most of them, I think. And I think it was busy for that night as well. But you sit there and you get 40 seconds.
While dinner's happening.
While dinner's happening. Everybody gets up and they have 40 seconds to say their piece.
Okay.
And it's a really good idea. And it's massively underused by most of the people there, as you can probably imagine.
The people who are not marketers.
People who are not marketers. And the people who I think are probably a bit afraid of being themselves, because there was an awful lot of, hello, I'm Pete the plumber and I'm really passionate about plumbing. And that's a real shame, because the people in the room are probably really good at what they do, as most small business owners are, really good at what they do and really passionate about what they do. And that's such a waste of 40 seconds. And there was a few people in there that stood out. There was a guy who does nutrition and eating and stuff, and I can't remember what his business is called, but I've got his business card down there. But he was interesting, and I remembered him because he was interesting. And the guy who did the magic show was obviously interesting because, magic. And there was a few other people who kind of made me sit up and go, oh, okay. Including a guy who has a mobile bar and was wearing the world's loudest shirt, which is another, you have to stand out, basically.
Yes.
So I'd actually spent some time preparing my 40-second pitch, because I'm conscientious like that. And so I started with, kind of stood up and yelled at the whole room, you can't fire me because I quit! And that's how I stumbled in a gin-soaked rage into running my own business.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I rambled a bit about some other stuff. But the point is that the first thing that I said was not your usual, hello, I'm Vicky, thank you for inviting me to the 4N meeting kind of thing. And a few people came up to me afterwards and were like, I really loved your 40 seconds.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. And this is not to blow my own trumpet or whatever. It's to make a point that if you have a chance to stand up in front of a room full of people, don't waste it.
Yeah, and don't blend into the background of all the other people.
No, because I think the thing is that people are frightened of being themselves because we have it drummed into our brains at a young age that business people have to be professional. You can't see me, but I'm doing air quotes and making a face.
She is.
And, somehow professional is wearing a suit and, being very careful about what you say. And that's bollocks, frankly. It's about being a real person. If you want to be successful, you need to be a real person. You need to make people give a shit about you.
And be good at what you do. But actually, you can get away with not being quite so good at what you do, which you absolutely shouldn't do. And I'm now wagging my finger at the microphone. But personality, in a lot of ways, is just as important as delivering quality. Sure. Because
you want to be working with people that you like and that you get on with and that you kind of click with. And so I think a lot of the problem that I saw in the 4N room, in between kind of, crapping myself because I didn't want to stand up in front of a room full of people, was people who were feeling awkward about putting themselves out there. And I think that's a shame because there was an awful lot of hard work and achievement on offer in there. So the 40-second pitch is a tough thing to do. It really is. it's a tough thing to do well.
Yeah.
But yes, I think people get frightened and they just get frightened, I think. If anyone needs help with their 40-second pitch, I am putting together a training.
Blimey.
I know.
Was that a whole new product just invented there?
No, not on the spot just then. But when I came on the way back from the networking meeting, because it was like a 2-hour drive back, I was kind of thinking and my brain was churning and all the rest of it. And I was thinking, a lot of people did struggle with their 40-second pitch. And people do struggle. And it's called an elevator pitch. I don't really like that because it's a bit wanky and American. But yeah, people do struggle with that. And it's a tough thing to do. So I'm putting together a training. So if anybody is interested in this training, and it won't be expensive. It'll be really good value. It'll be fun. Drop me an email, vicky@vickyfraser.com. And I will add you to my notification list and let you know when this training is available.
Excellent.
And it won't just, even if you don't network, this is a really, really, really useful exercise to do.
You need to have this stuff at the tip of your tongue, at the forefront of your brain, ready to just bounce out of you the minute somebody asks you what you do.
Yeah, what do you do? And rather than sort of say, I'm a copywriter, you come out with what you actually do.
Yeah.
But that's enough of that, because that's going to be a thing that I'm working on. Cool. So that's what you do first. And then after that's happened, you have... in this case, a magic show, which I don't think is normal, but if it was, I would go to every single foreign networking thing because I love magic.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's cool. But I think they have like a 20-minute spot where somebody comes and they get you can book yourself in to do like a talk.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy was a magician and he did this thing. And after that, you swap your business cards. So you write the numbers 1, 2, and 3 on your business cards and then you swap with other people. So you'll swap a number 1 business card with somebody else's number 1 business card. You're looking at me blankly.
What's the significance of the 1, 2, and 3?
Well...
Do you just have 3 business cards that you're allowed to give out?
3 business... Well, no, you can give lots of business cards out to lots of people, but the significance of the 1, 2, 3 is that you then, after you've finished the swapping and the mingling and the going to the loo and the getting a drink and whatever, you have 3 10-minute slots where you sit down with one of the people that you swapped the 1, 2, or 3 with.
So, doesn't that mean you have 6 10-minute meetings?
No. You have 3.
Okay. So
why would you have 6?
Well, because there's potentially the 3 business cards that you handed out with 1, 2, and 3 on.
Yes.
And you might have accrued a whole bunch of business cards with numbers on.
No, you can only swap with one person.
Oh, okay, so you can only swap your number 3 with number 3.
Yeah. So you kind of go around and go, has anyone got a number 3 left? And then you'll swap with the person who's got a number 3 left.
Weird. Okay.
Well, you say weird, but it works quite well because then you haven't just got loads of people kind of trying to go, I want to talk to you about my plumbing business. You've got 10 minutes to sit down and talk to somebody. And the 3 people that I spoke to were really interesting. One of them is not going to be any use because she was, not say use, that's really rude. One of them, I don't think we're going to probably get in touch with each other again because she was a marketing person for a restaurant franchise.
Right.
And that's not something I'm particularly interested in. But I do quite fancy going to the restaurant.
Okay.
But the other one was a chat and Infusionsoft consultant.
Oh, that could be handy.
Could be handy. And then there was James. Hi, James.
Hi,
who
James.
listens to our podcast.
Really?
Yeah, already listened to the podcast before I even met him.
Wow.
I know. Immediately inquired about my inner circle.
Cool.
And I said, well, I'll read my book first because, you might decide I'm a twat. He's already signed up to my 49 ideas and he's really keen. And his reason why is awesome. And we'll talk about reason whys another week. We'll go into that another week. But
what does James do?
he used to be an accountant and he's now, I want to say financial consultant, but he's more than that because he's not he helps small businesses to grow and not waste money. And I think he could be really useful to me.
Yeah, you need some of that.
You see, James, if you're listening, I told you that Joe is really rolly-eyed about how much money I spend on my business.
So about 3 times a week I get oh yeah, so I found this piece of software and I bought it. It's like, what does it do? It's like, oh, well, it reverses phone numbers so that they look nice. You're like, huh?
I would just like to point out that I have never bought a piece of software that does that and I don't even know what use it would be.
You can only subscribe to them, like 40 quid a month or something.
That's not true. Mostly.
One of these days I'm going to go through your bank account.
Well, you do that every now and then because I ask you to and you're like, what's this? What's this? For fuck's sake, what's this?
Do you use this thing? No. Stop buying it.
So yeah, that's yeah.
Okay.
Hi, James.
Hi, James.
Anyway, but I kind of
James,
wanted...
please turn up and sort it out.
So, looks like you got yourself a new client, James. Oh, you've completely destroyed my
The flow.
chemtrail now.
So we've swapped cards with 3 people.
Yeah, except I don't really do business cards, and because I'm a disorganised, so-and-so, I hadn't got my business cards that I've kind of got vaguely in design sorted in time. So guess what I took with me?
Was it books?
Yes! I took my book.
Excellent.
Actually, I took a whole bunch of copies of my books because that is the ultimate business card. And I wrote 1, 2, and 3 on them, and then I handed them out. And do you know what reaction I got each time?
Was it like eyes boggled?
It was eyes boggled. It was, oh, bloody hell, what's this? Are you sure? Are you sure? Because it's a really high value gift. It's a gift, basically.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. And you can just damn well guarantee that none of the people that I gave my book to that night are going to forget about me. Because how many people take a book to a networking event as a business card? Not enough. Mind you, if everybody did it, then it would be...
You'd have to take a painting or...
a hand-illustrated thing.
Yes.
Which I might be able to do soon.
Or balloons.
Actually...
Or plumbing supplies with your phone number on.
That's not a bad idea if you're a plumber.
U-bends.
If you're not a plumber, don't take U-bends. But, if you were a vintner or something, you could take a tiny wee bottle
Bottles, yeah.
of wine with your personalised,
Like wine glasses or something.
A business card does not have to be a little square of paper.
It's a good idea.
It is a good idea. And yes, you're not going to want to have 1,000 of them because they're going to be very expensive. But for occasions like that could be... Because this foreign thing was very high value. I've spoken to a couple of people that are, good people to have spoken to. I mean, they're all good people to speak to, but people who might be long-term beneficial to me and to them.
Cool.
And so that is worth spending a few quid on, is what I'm saying. I also handed out copies of my book to other people as well. But when we did the kind of swappy thing, I had books and not business cards. And it was a cool thing.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice. And I'm really proud of my book as well, so it was really, really cool. And, it's already got one new chap signed up to my 49 Ideas, was inquiring about my inner circle. You're more than welcome, James. And, yeah, so...
Cool.
Yeah, and it's not just about networking either. You have to stand out in all of your marketing. Surprise and delight people.
Do something different.
Do something different, yeah. But make sure it's relevant to you. Writing a book is a really good first step, but there are many other things you can do as well. U-bends with your name on.
Yeah.
Although I think you can probably do better than U-bends. Miniature toilets that you can put pencils in.
Maybe.
Yes.
We could actually use a U-bend. We've got a leaky one upstairs.
Have we?
Yeah.
In the sink?
The sink.
Yeah, we have to make sure that the tap's turned off really tightly. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, if anyone's out there and there's a plumber and you would like us to use you for your plumbing services, send us a U-bend with your details on.
We will fit it into our bathroom.
And then we will look at it every day and go, we shall get him to do our plumbing. Because we're going to be fitting at least 2 new bathrooms in the next few years.
Yeah.
Probably be good if you were local to Herefordshire. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't be worth your while, really. But
it's quite a specific cast there, isn't it?
Yeah. I was going to ramble about some other stuff as well, but to be honest, we're at 23 minutes now and I think we should stop.
Do you think?
Yeah. There's useful stuff in there for people. That they could...
It does feel like we've done more than 23 minutes, though, really.
Yeah.
Because we've done most of it twice.
Yeah. Seriously, though, I know we ramble a lot, but we do... Well, I do. I think Joe just turns up. But I like to... They come for you and you're funny, but I'm hoping that what they take away is actual valuable stuff that they can put to use in their business. Like, personalised U-bends.
Personalised U-bends. I think that's a winner. You could form a whole business on personalising U-bends for plumbers.
I'm just going to go and patent that idea.
Excellent.
Right, so that's that really.
Do you want to hear my news?
Yeah, what's your news?
I learned to wheelie a lawnmower over the weekend.
Joe wheelied our lawnmower. I am probably going to write my daily email about it tomorrow because I totally forgot this morning. So if you're not on my email list yet, drop me an email, vicky@vickyfraser.com. I will add you to my daily emails. And then tomorrow morning, which is now not tomorrow morning, but it'll be on the blog at some point. Check the blog. It'll probably be on the blog by the time that you hear this. That'll be a video of Joe wheeling the lawnmower.
Not anybody can just wheelie a lawnmower, you know.
No, it was impressive.
Thank you.
So yeah, next week we're probably going to be talking about how to charge higher prices without losing all of your customers, but you never know, we might wheelie something else and talk about that instead.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it really. You can buy my book, businessforsuperheroes.com. You can join my inner circle, businessforsuperheroes.com/inner
-circle. That was weird.
Yeah. But yeah, put the stuff, don't just listen to this podcast. Put the stuff that you learn from it into action. Because if you don't take action, nothing will change.
True that.
Your business will carry on doing whatever it's doing at the moment, which might be amazing, in which case carry on. But if you're not satisfied with it, then you need to... Nobody going to change it for you, basically. Oh, you know what? Ollie Luke is awesome. Hi, Ollie.
Hi, Ollie.
He listens, and he was saying that he listens to us at 1.5 times speed, which must be...
That's a skill.
Yeah. But
You're pretty high-pitched and babbly at the best of times.
I know I am. It's really bad. But he said we sound like drunken chipmunks. So if you want a bit of a laugh, guys, whack the speed up to like 1.5 times. And I'm really trying very hard right now to talk at a sensible pace. But I can't do it because I get really overexcited. Do you get overexcited?
I'm just bursting with excitement to be here. Also, I have a cold. I feel pretty low down. So
Okay, thanks everybody. Right, we are going to be back next week. I just didn't want to get him started on the whole cold thing.
Oh man, I feel a bit sick. Not very well.
Poor thing.
If anybody wants to send me small bottles of Prosecco as a get well present, that would be fine.
I'll intercept them. Anyway, right, we really do have to go now.
Yeah, right, we're going.
Thanks very much for listening. Put into action what you've learned. Hit me up with your interesting business card ideas. You know, I don't know I obviously don't know what everybody does for their business, but I would love to hear what interesting business ideas that you could come up with, business card ideas you could come up with that aren't business cards.
Cool.
Yeah. Have a splendid week. Be good. And if you can't be good, then don't get caught. Thanks very much, Joe.
No problem at all.
Bye.
Bye.
Like what you've just heard? Tell your colleagues, tell your friends, send them to www.businessforsuperheroes.com/podcast.